It is the 22nd of January. It is Fiverr Friday. This show is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business and sidestep all the crazy things that I seem to step on. Last Friday, I wasn't around. I was sick. I was in bed, but I'm definitely feeling better today. So super excited to be coming to you live and diving in. We've got a lot to talk about with this new subscription service from Fiverr. I'm thrilled to dive into it with you. Was on the conference call that Fiverr had on Wednesday, and had some time to think about it and talk to other voiceover actors, and I'm really looking forward to bringing you that information today and getting your feedback and your thoughts also. If you get an opportunity, please take a moment to like and subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. That way, whenever I go live or send out videos, you get notified. Also, out of the kindness of your heart, you have the ability to send a super chat, which is a small donation or whatever to the channel to help keep this thing going, so that we can have these great discussions every Friday and talk about all the stuff that's on our minds, especially related around Fiverr. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and dive in to the subscription service. So Fiverr came out with a new idea that is going to be implemented starting Monday of this coming up Monday. And basically, the idea behind the subscription service is this. Fiverr is going to offer, for voice actors will be able to do this. Now, it was unclear whether all of voice actors will be involved or only some. And I believe it's not, I think it won't be all voice actors. We'll find out on Monday. They did not answer that question, but there was only a certain group of people. There was about 8 to 10 different categories of people on Fiverr, sellers on Fiverr, that are going to be rolling this out for the beta test, if you will. And basically what's going to be happening is they're going to roll this out on Monday, and there'll be an option on your gigs. Now, these gigs have already been chosen, so they're very clear about starting new gigs next week, changing the gigs. None of that will be available for these subscription services. They're going up on gigs that are there. Now, I'm assuming they'll let you change some things because it's still your gig, but they're very clear that adding new gigs, you can't get it onto them. These are only for existing gigs. And I'm imagining that they're vetting these so that they have an idea of, what is actually going into it, et cetera, et cetera. Anyways, so here's the idea. Under the section where they can buy from you, there'll be another tab added that they'll be able to sign up for 3 to 6 months subscription. And basically how this will work is you will be able to offer, whether it is if you want to offer a discount, you can offer up to a 20% discount. So I think it's like 5, 10, 15, or 20% off. And they can choose whether they want 3 to 6 months. And as voice actors, we're the only ones we can go down to $5. We can start at $5. And it is based on words for us, not the packages. Everyone else is based on packages, but voiceover on Fiverr allows you to do words. So anyways, with that being said, clients will be able to choose to basically have you on retainer. And they will determine how many words they want to do per month. And then when they purchase that from you, all right, each month, Fiverr will charge them the fee that you guys have decided on for those amount of words per month. Now, the kicker is that they will have to go on and accept the delivery. So that is something that I'm interested to see how it goes, right? Because what if they set all that up and then decide not to accept the delivery? So we'll see how that pans out. If Fiverr makes them, I think they'll make them to deposit at least a month. What I imagine is going to happen is it's just going to be a monthly thing, that just like a subscription, like they said, but they have to accept it each month as opposed to it automatically coming out. So that's one thing that's interesting about it. But you'll be able to determine how much percentage off if you want to give them. Fiverr, to my knowledge, is still charging the full amount. that they charge us and the client. This is up to us. We can negotiate with the client. Now, one couple things that are going to happen with this is that they're not offering, as of right now, any extras or anything that go along with this. So what I really recommend is that we take a step back and look at this as an opportunity for us to put more of our services encompassed in a one price, all right, and like a rate card. So, most of us should have rate cards. If you don't have a rate card, it can be as simple as just a, PDF file that lists your rates for X amount of words plus rights, etc. And of course, on a VO's Journey website, I have a voiceover rate guide there for beginners and intermediates and advanced levels. So that gives you an idea of just a guide for you to check out for rates if you're not sure where to begin with that. But I think it's safe to say that we should add on to that, right, these extras that are not going to be included for the subscription service. So if someone comes around and says, hey, listen, I've got a YouTube channel. I want to hire you for the next 6 months on the subscription service. I appreciate it. You're offering 10% off. And, how much does that cost? I'm betting it's going to be about 10,000 words a month. Well, you're going to come up with that, and it's important for you to include all of those extra things into it, okay? If they go about charging, like if they go about being able to buy from you, which I think they will be able to without you actually talking to them, and that's going to be something, then we need to be prepared with our pricing to, carry that hit, if you will. Meaning, like, are they going to be allowed to just purchase from you and not buy any extras? But I think that from that standpoint, it's important that you pay attention to your pricing if you've been chosen to do this. And I do think this is going to be an interesting thing to vet and to see how businesses respond to this in the first place and how they don't respond to it, et cetera, et cetera. But I think this is going to be kind of a cool, I think it's going to be an amazing opportunity. And I also want to point something out too, and I really do think this is important. No matter what anybody says, Fiverr, has changed around the idea of business services. And I think that with that being said, business services we need to think of the fact that, as a business service, right, Fiverr is trying to promote products. And, if you look at what like a service actually means, right, it's like, people helping other people with something. Whereas a product in that sense would be like, something tangible that someone gets, that's not necessarily reliant on people. Okay, like, something hard. Like, for example, the Fiverr Friday mug. I want to thank John for sending me this. This is fantastic. He also sent me an ACX Thursday mug, but we haven't done ACX Thursday in a while. But anyways, this is Fiverr Friday mug. Thank you, John. So this is like a product, right? And it's so if people go to buy that, we don't go in there and negotiate the price of the product. Okay, because it cost X amount and this is what it is. There was a system in place that made that, put it there. All these, checks and things are in place. So the same things that Fiverr has tried to do with services, because it gives us a way to really, I think, get our services more out there than what they currently are. It just opens up so much. So with all that being said, it's important that we understand, that the system in which we create our businesses as voiceover actors, we got to think about how can we make our system more automated. This subscription option is a really interesting option. I think many people, and I've talked to many voice actors since Wednesday, many of us had for years, right, ideas of doing a subscription service for businesses and voiceover, right? It'd be so much easier for them to do it that way. And so to me, it makes a lot of sense that this is happening. I do think, though, that, this could have some unintentional problems. Like, for example, if someone is clicking this thing and they don't quite understand what's happening and they want to cancel after 2 months, is Fiverr going to hold that against us? When that doesn't seem, to me, that doesn't seem fair, because it's not just a job. Also, another thing that pops up, right, is that if you are doing this and someone goes to buy, you set up a subscription with somebody and they're like, hey, well, we need this delivered every week, not once a month, right? So at that point, you've got to consider that you're going to be delivering something every week. Do we deliver, do we make them pay at the beginning of the month? Do we make them pay at the end of the month? I think that's an important factor to take in consideration. And to me, that is going to depend on you and your client, not Fiverr, because what I imagine what will happen, or what's supposed to happen, is that when they buy the clock, we assume a clock's going to start at 30 days or something. They could pay right then and there, right? And you just deliver it throughout the month till the next subscription, or they could wait till the end to pay. You know what I mean? And you do that. So that's going to be really up to you and the client. So that is something that is interesting, and I recommend that you make just make changes either to your rate card, or think about that when as you go forward with the subscription program. I just thought that was an interesting topic on my own. So with that being said, I think overall this is a great opportunity for us to also start this off of Fiverr. I really do. I really think as voiceover artists, it's been a long time coming for us to be able to say, hey, listen, we can do subscriptions. If your business is an e-learning company, if you're doing a YouTube channel, if you need a podcast done, right, we should be able to offer voiceover, subscriptions for voice actors, right? You can subscribe and pay on a monthly basis to have X amount, so that you don't have to keep coming over and over again and negotiating and talking about it. All you got to do is send me something. I record it, send it back to you. We take care of it once a month. What about something for a year? I think it's very interesting too, is that you could do this for a year, right? Who's to say that we can't do something for a year? What if we determine that someone says to you, hey, listen, we want to work with you for the whole year. We have about 1 to 2 voiceovers a month that we're going to send to you. And, we want to pay $10,000, and just keep you on for the year, and we'll pay you $10,000. That's a great option, but none of us, I think, in the business right now have thought it, or we've thought about it, because I know I have to, but have pushed that out because maybe we didn't have a platform in order to really make people understand that, right? But Fiverr has that platform. So I do think that that's going to be quite a big deal in my mind, about them pushing out a product that could change the industry forever again, right? I really do think so. Now, it could turn out more like Fiverr Studios, right? Where if Fiverr Studios, that was a big deal, but it's kind of fizzled away. It's still there, but no one really ever talks about Fiverr Studios. You don't see a lot going on with Fiverr Studios, just because, I think it can become cumbersome. So that was kind of, in my mind, that's been somewhat of a bust. Now, if Fiverr wants to contact me, send me some information how it's not a bust, I will totally retract that statement, but it seems like it is to me. So I'm interested to see how this whole thing is going to pan out with Fiverr on this particular topic. So I do think, though, that we need to be ready for it. All right, so those are my opinions about the subscription service. I would love to open it up to you all with questions, comments, anything that you have and you'd like to say or you'd like to ask. So if you're new to Fiverr Friday, basically at this time, you go ahead and put down your comments, put down your questions. I go ahead and answer them for you and do the best that I can. Hey, I want to thank you, Zach, for doing a super chat. There's a little button or a little thing, I guess it's a money tab at the bottom where you can donate to the channel. Thank you so much, Zach. I appreciate it. Happy Fiverr Friday to you too, my friend. It really helps a lot keep this channel going, because as you guys know, I do my very best to put up videos every day of the week. It's a challenge to keep out this content going for you guys. So thank you so much, Zach. Zach, I really appreciate it. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into some of your questions and some of your thoughts. Let's see, Tom, hello. It's good to have you. Flyer here, Eric. What's up, my man? Scott, what's up, Scott? Happy Friday to you, sir. Grant, howdy, dude. Howdy, Grant. Doug says, hi all, first time attending live. Welcome, Doug. Thank you so much for attending live, man. Really great to have you. Voiceover Angela. Hello, Angela. Happy Fiverr Friday. Jeremy, what's up, my man, Jeremy? Good to have you, sir. Let's see. Daniel, shout out to Voiceover Beard. Hot. So anyone knows, so if you know, like before a lot of my videos, you got that voiceover beard guy who keeps sending things. And actually, I saw a very nice commercial from a woman recently in front of mine too, who's selling voiceover services too on how to make money in voiceover. If you notice, it seems like a trend. More and more people are hopping on to selling this stuff through ads, which is very powerful. Right. But I saw that. I didn't get her name, but I saw a woman doing it as well. Although I think I've seen her around before. But yeah, I get all the great voice actor or voiceover coach ads on my channel. So good deal with that. Let's see. Greg, what's up, Greg? When I got the request for subscription, it said I was chosen. It was 10 hours old, and when I checked it, it said it was full. Yeah, so they did, of course, put out a thing for that, inviting people. Hey, Daniel, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you. I really appreciate it. It means everything. Thank you so much for that. All right, let's see. Tim, what's up, Tim? What up, meow? What up? My cat's actually, well, he was down there sleeping, but he's moved on, I guess. Chelsea, what's up, Chelsea? Hi, excited to hear about this. Awesome. Voiceover Angela, I will choose just 1 gig to test. Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely something that, you probably don't want to get everything on there. Definitely something that you plan on doing, to test it out. Definitely. Out of work professor, what's up? Hello, AP. Glad to see you are feeling better. Yes, I am feeling better. I was out for a while, as you know. We had to cancel Fiverr Friday last week, which stunk, but I'm super happy to be back. So, feeling a lot better. I was in bed for like 20 hours. It was awful. And I'm not sure what I had. I never went and got tested for anything. I did go back to the hospital to get a checkup 2 days ago, and I was okay. So I'm doing good now. So a little fatigued, but I'm okay. It's nothing that plenty coffee can't fix. All right, so let's see. I first heard of voiceover subscriptions years ago from Lance Tamashiro. Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I think a lot of people who have had this idea for a while, it makes a lot of sense, because if you think about it, every other service I guess this is what I wanted to dive in with you guys, and I think this is a great way for you to start looking at your business, all right? And I've got some big, as big announcements, but some things I'm going to announce on my podcast later on today that I'm going to be talking about, some new directions with my business that I'm going to be taking. I wouldn't say they're new directions. They're refocusing on some things, that my business is going to really start to be moving in a direction, and I'm excited to talk about it with you because, for those of you who have paid attention to my podcast and watched the VO's Journey podcast, a big portion of my podcast was about me becoming a full-time voice actor, and I've become a full-time voice actor. And then after that happened, it was like, well, now what do we do? I'm full-time, and you're like, what's the goal now? We've become full-time, live a great life, but even, you got to have goals. You got to keep, when you reach a goal, you got to add a new one. All right. If you're not growing, you are dying. You'll die of atrophy. So you need to continue to grow by setting new goals. And, I have a great new goal. So I'm going to be talking about that in the podcast. And that's going to be the focus of the podcast and the business moving forward. Anyways. So, but I am feeling a lot better. But what I was getting with the subscription stuff was that I really do believe that we need to really hone the idea of turning our businesses into more like a product. Now, you might say, well, what's the product? I mean, the voiceover, okay, an MP3, that's tangible, but Anthony, we have to do the voiceover. We have to do it. Absolutely. But don't think of the voiceover or anything like this as a service. Think of the system that you set up, right? The actual chain of events that you do X, Y, Z, okay? That you could, if you went far enough to replace if you had to replace yourself as a voice actor, okay, Could you replace yourself as a voice actor and be as successful? Now, of course, one can always say, we all have very unique voices. Absolutely, that's true. But I want to also pose the idea that with all things being equal, meaning that, like on Fiverr, we're getting close to 22,000 gigs, right, that are available. With all that being equal, out of 22,000 people, how do you pick one person? How do you decide that one person is the best or the best voice or whatever? That can be challenging, right? So does it become about who's the best, or does it become about who's actually being seen? Think about that. We spend so much time on our voice and thinking about all of our equipment, which is important. It's very important. But again, if we take a step back and at least agree that we all get to a point where we can deliver a professional product, how then does someone choose when reality is that they could find a lot of voices very similar to us? I usually say this in acting, right? As actors, right? I mean, there's probably a ton of people out there that are, well, I know for a fact there are tons of people out there better than me at voice acting. Absolutely. Better at telling a story. Their voices are more unique than mine, or they sound more interesting to listen to. I know it. I coach many of them, right? But then why does my business grow a certain part or get more maybe voiceover work than someone else who clearly is better? I'm sure, have heard people that you've listened to and you scratch your head thinking, what the heck? I know I'm better than that, or my stuff sounds better than that. Because there's something else in there, and that is getting actually in front of people. And this, when I talk about systems and creating that, that's what that means. And if you're not thinking like that, you're missing the boat. No matter how good you are, it doesn't matter if you're on page 10 or 20 somewhere. No one will ever see you. So yeah, is it you got to think about multiple things? Yes, you do. But the reality is, all right, and this is a stretch, but you could take pretty much almost anyone, and I guarantee you, if you've been through this, you know what I'm talking about. You put them on the front page of Fiverr, they are going to get business. Many of you who just started out, or you started out a little while ago and you got promoted by Fiverr, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And then as they stop the promoting you, because they always promote new people as they come in, your business dropped off some because you weren't being promoted as far up. Yes, you're good, but if you were on that front page, you'd be getting business like this. All right. But when they push you back, you don't get as much impressions or views or seen as much, so you don't get business. So that is a very important aspect. So the system of how you do that matters. And this subscription-based idea I love because I think that it's nice to lay your head down at night on a pillow and not worry about what's going to come in next month. I mean, let's be honest. What is appealing about a job is that there is, and we can argue about a false sense, but there is this idea that I know I'm going to be paid every 2 weeks. I know I'm going to be paid every month. And as an actor or performer, we're only get paid per that job. It's the same thing. The one absolute in acting is that it ends. Okay, so same with us. So I like the idea of subscriptions as adding that to a part of our revenue stream. But we can create a system around that so that we are aware of it, and this is part of that system. So that we no longer have to go out and constantly beating our head against the wall looking for business, going business. And the people who are trying to find voice actors are having to sift through hundreds or thousands of auditions. Okay? So anyways, sorry, I just had to put that out there. Sherry, glad you're feeling better. Happy Friday. Thank you. It's always a bonus to see you live. Thank you, Sherry. It's good to be here. At first, I thought you were going to say it's always a bonus to see you alive. I was like, yes, it is. But you meant live. I got you. Let's see. Kayla. Oh, that's cool. Kayla. Hey, first time on live. Huh? Welcome, Kayla. It's good to have you. Again, thank you, Daniel, for that super chat. Really appreciate it. Scott says, hello, Scott. Just created my first Fiverr gig last week. Congrats. After going through your Fiverr course. Awesome. It was a general gig encompassing all types of VO. When should I create more specific gigs? Right away, Scott. No time to waste. So this is my advice for you to creating more gigs. Okay. If you want more business, and you're not getting as much as you want, create more gigs. Throw more fishing lines in the water. Create more gigs. Okay? Create more gigs. And I know I've done videos, tons of videos about different ways to find gigs, but don't wait to create more gigs. And if you find yourself being like, oh yeah, but I got to get on Upwork. Oh yeah, I got to send out this, and now I got to do that. In the end, would you rather A, have people come to you for business, or B, you have to go to them for business? I know for me, I'd rather take A. I want people to come to me for business. When it comes to Fiverr, they are still the only website that I know. And for our purposes, you know me, I try to get on as many sites and do as much as I can and report back to you as part of what I like to do to help you get information about this. No other site is like it. So, meaning that you have to, all the other sites, you have to actively go onto those sites and audition, send proposals. You got to do something physically. Where Fiverr, once you put up your stuff, Fiverr sends the traffic and those people buy and contact you. It's totally different. Totally different. So I recommend getting up as many as you can as soon as possible. Don't sacrifice quality, okay? But, put the work in and get them up, and don't put it to the side. You know what I mean? Get it done. Okay. Good question. Let's see. Grant says, "Hey, what's up, Grant? Does that gal have a beard? I lost your." No. I was just saying there's a new. I saw a new ad in front of my YouTube channel, because it was forever all I saw was the voiceover beard guy. And now I saw a new one of a woman do it, selling her voiceover services. So it has nothing to do with her and a beard, Grant. All right. Anyways, let's see. Nick, good afternoon, Mr. Pinker. Good afternoon, Nick. Dale says, first-time poser. What's you mean poster? I gotcha. Do you think, you guys are funny today, do you think subscription-based will hurt new VO talents? Dale, it's a really good question, and I don't think so, and I'm going to tell you why. Because usually, when you're new and you're coming into Fiverr, you don't have a lot of social credibility. So because of that, we usually end up starting on the lower end of things. And there's a worldwide market for affordable quality, but affordable voiceovers, and they're not going to sign up for subscriptions. So I actually wonder if this is going to hurt people who are higher up the ladder necessarily when it comes to been on Fiverr longer, right? Because I don't think that the people at the lower level are going to get that done unless you have people higher up on the ladder who end up taking some of that business. But I don't think that's going to happen, because people are not on, people who are looking to spend $5 or $10 on a voiceover. Okay, I don't think they're going to want to sign up for a subscription. Okay, that's not the point, because they lose control. So I don't think it will, but we'll definitely keep reporting on it and see where it is. And I know, please feel free to always send feedback to me. I'd love to have it. So good question though. Let's see. Character voices. Hello. Got invited into Fiverr Pro this week. Hey, congrats. Careful what you wish for. Yeah, that's awesome. Cool. Congrats. That's great news. Keep us posted. We've had a couple people who have, switched over to Fiverr Pro, and they seem to really like it. So best of luck. And like I said, keep us posted. Dale says, just reread my post. First time poster, not poster. I figured. Let's see. Daniel, what is your argument when professional VO artists say we're bringing down the industry rates? I disagree with that, as it's a way for us to grow our business, then charge me. But I wanted your thoughts. I think that's a great question. And I've talked about this actually a lot. And I think for me, the biggest thing that I've realized is that, I understand both sides of the argument, right? I mean, on one side, you think about it, you have a person who's spent their entire life building their voiceover business. They've spent their entire life dedicated to being a good advocate for other voiceover artists and growing an industry that has built for better or for worse, has built a system for us now to be involved in and has led to this moment in time. And then to do all that work and dedicate your life to something and build a business to where you feed your family, to have new things come along that can seemingly undercut what you've built a lifetime building and then take it all away, that's very... I would be scared and angry and more willing to lash out. On the other hand, right, you have an industry that has done all those wonderful things, but also became very difficult for new people to join into. It became difficult for someone like me who's never done voiceover, who had, not a lot of money to start out, who, started with a USB microphone and a hobo fort with packing blankets and PVC pipe, and, didn't live in New York or LA, or Chicago or anything like that. And what am I supposed to do? Do I just say, oh, sorry, this industry is not for you? Right? So then you have another argument right on the other side that says, hey, I want to be able to be a part of this. Where's a marketplace or somewhere where I can join as a new person who's just starting out and service an industry that is open up now worldwide, not just a specific place, right? And there's people in the world who, like us, are freelancers working by themselves, and they want to have access to voiceovers, but they can't afford to pay, $18,000 for a 30-second spot. Okay. On their YouTube channel that has, 10 subscribers, but do they not get access to a voiceover? See, so I see both sides. So because I see both sides and I understand and empathize with that, I think that both sides have valid arguments, but in the end, I actually think that we need to come together to help us grow, because I think that one side and the other side, we can all help each other. We can teach each other, help, because I work with a lot of people also who are part of SAG-AFTRA, and they've dedicated their lives, but they're not making as much money. And they want to try new places, you know what I mean? And then I've also worked with people who don't want to work on Fiverr, and I'm okay either way. So I guess the whole point of this is I understand, I empathize, I respect people's opinions. I wish them the best, and I'm going to keep building my business and trying to help more people learn how to make more money. So I think that's my opinion. So I was long-winded. Hopefully that helps. But great question. And in the end, I would say if you get approached with that, we don't need to, and this is my opinion, we don't need to be upset with people again, right? I mean, we're all coming from a different situation. But I will tell you this. Always guard who you let into your mind and your heart. You got to guard that. Meaning, perfect example, the groups that you join, right? If you join a group and it seems to be maybe some negativity is there, or it seems to be always putting people down, that might not be the best group for you to grow, right? Because it's a group that doesn't seem to have maybe a direction at that time, right? So you got to or people that you hang around, right? We all know that, right? You become who you hang around. They're just thoughts. So just guard those things. But always, in my opinion, I mean, we could probably use some more empathy in the world, right? Okay, so let's move on. Relaxation escape. We pay subscription fees every month for cable, electricity, Netflix, so why not voiceover? Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, everyone's doing it. And everything I do online is a subscription now, right? So absolutely. Let's see. Daniel, charge more. Okay. But what I wanted to thought. Okay, charge. I understand. Michael, thank you so much, Michael. I really appreciate that, man. Absolutely. Thank you so much for the super chat. It means the world to me. Thank you, Michael. Let's see. I'll get to your question in just 1 second. Let's see. Fleischman Media. What's good, Anthony? What's up, man? It's the difference between having a job and a business. If you can step away from your business and keep getting paid, you have a business. Absolutely. And I think for any of you who haven't read it, E-Myth Revisited. Of course, it's a legendary book, but it's amazing. By Gerber is his name, and who wrote it. It's an absolutely incredible book, and the whole idea is talks about how taking a job or, or that we can end up creating a job instead of a business. And the idea of a business is, could you walk away today and your business continue to grow and pay you, or would your business fall apart? I mean, the very nature of voiceover is like, we can't walk away because it's our voices, right? But the whole idea of this systematizing things, as I was talking about, is being, what if you want to take a year off? I mean, seriously, or what if what if you wanted to go on vacation for a month and you didn't want to take your travel gear and be in the closet? Because some of us get so busy, we could work out like 10, 12, 15, 18, we can work a long time doing voiceovers all day, right? So absolutely. So that's kind of what I agree with you on that one. So we want to try to create a business. Let's see. Michael, again, thank you so much for the super chat, Michael. Let's read your question. My IVR gig has suddenly dropped from page 1 to page 3 in the search results. I'm tweaking search terms, descriptions, etc. What's a good amount of time to wait to see if the changes are or are not working? Good question, Michael. First off, again, thank you. Thank you so much. And second thing, Fiverr switches around people. They've actually come out and said this. They actively rotate people to give more people a chance to get business on Fiverr, instead of just letting the top-rated sellers by themselves always sit at the front. Even though it seems like they are there a lot, and they are, but they do rotate a lot of other people. So a lot of times you'll see people have a good first month, and then the second half of the month is not so good, or they'll have a slow first part of the month and then a good second half of the month. But in this case, with what you're talking about, I usually like to see a pretty quick change. So within a week, 2 weeks max. If you're not seeing something, it probably wasn't what you did. It probably wasn't to your ability. But plus, you have to understand too that, there's a lot going on behind the scenes, right? Where you are particularly being retargeted, how much, are you doing promoted gigs? Someone, bid it above you in your particular area? Was it, even as simply getting knocked out of, going to page 3, right? Is going to have drastic changes to how much business you get. All right, but for new business. So definitely 1 to 2 weeks max. Fiverr's pretty fast. Scott, thank you so much, man, for your super chat. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate that, Scott. Jim, thank you so much, my man. Jim, thank you for your super chat. Really appreciate it. Let's get to Scott, and then we'll get to Jim, and then we've got Relaxation Escape. And hey, Rob, good to have you. Let's see. Scott says, pair character punching the air with fist and bump written on the knuckle. Okay. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate it. Let's see. Jim says, hippo character with a pink hat flips it backward and raises his thumb up in the air. I'm told, you know what, I have no idea what you guys are talking about. Did you just want me to read? You know what? You wanted me to read that out loud, didn't you? Hippo character with a pink hat flips it backwards and raises his thumb up in the air. Might as well do an epic voiceover for you, right? What is it? Pair character punching the air with fist and bump written on his knuckles. I'm assuming that's what you wanted. I could be totally off, but thank you very much for y'all super chat. Let's see. Relaxation Escape for Fiverr commercial. I'm an idiot, but we might as well have fun. For Fiverr commercial demo videos, can we use video and music from real commercials, or does everything have to be royalty free? Great question. So listen, we actually had a great conversation about this the other day. If you remember, about, I don't know how many months ago, but I had reached out to some lawyers, and I was really trying to get, for once and for all, a definitive answer, from legal counsel, if you will, on this type of being able to use copyrighted material, not copyrighted material. Where's the statute, like the statute of limitations, how far does this go? How far can we go? And, I think that one thing I learned is many of the people I talked to had no idea. All right. And, because it begins to there's a very big gray area there. Meaning, like, for example, if you go to audition, right, and you sing Phantom of the Opera for your audition, you don't have to pay Andrew Lloyd Webber money to sing Phantom of the Opera for an audition. Okay. But if you went and, sang Andrew Lloyd Webber and charged people, or had people come in as a performance for you, then yes, you would need to pay Andrew Lloyd Webber, or the publishing company, right, a fee to be able to use that work for those purposes. So for us, there is always this gray area of what is the purpose that we're using these things for. And as you pointed out, you said you wanted to use them for demo videos. All right. It's a very gray area. Do I think that you would get in trouble for using music on your videos like that? Absolutely not, because it, again, is really for audition purposes. You are not charging people to listen to your demo and those things, or saying that you are the one who composed that music, etc., or you're the one who, you're not selling it. Okay. However, there is situations where people don't want you using their stuff, and, you can definitely kind of go down a rabbit hole. So my recommendation is, do your best not to have to even worry about it. But is anyone going to really care if you... I don't. I use samples all the time. And I always say for sample purposes, right? You know what I mean? I mean, is Ford going to be bothered that I'm doing a commercial? I'm doing a sample commercial for Ford? No. They're not going to be like mad that I'm giving them free marketing. Okay? And I'm not, again, charging people to watch that video. That's an important factor. So again, it's that gray area. Just like I said, are you auditioning with Andrew Lloyd Webber, Phantom of the Opera, or are you charging people to come see you perform? Okay, so, and by the way, here's the thing. You could ask 100 people and they'd be like, no, you don't have to. Then you could ask another 100 people and they can be like, yeah, you have to. That's why I was telling you, I was trying to get definitive answer. And all the lawyers I talked to, the consensus was it's a gray area. There's not really a law either way. But in the end, it's like anything else. When someone has a problem with it, then there's a problem. So, I know that was a very ambiguous answer, but I really do think that in the case of Fiverr, they came out with that whole thing a while ago talking about, hey, if it's not yours, you don't own it, you can't put it up there. But it wasn't geared towards us. I really think that was geared towards people taking videos and claiming it was like for example, selling, selling a drawing and then claiming that they drew that. It would be like you and I putting up voiceovers from someone else and claiming that was our voiceover, right? You have to think about what we're actually selling, our voice, not the material that we're using to show you a fake situation of what it could be like. Does that make sense? Again, it's a big gray area. So I hope that helps. If it bothers you, just use royalty free music. That's my answer. Let's see. Question, Fleischman Media. If you have less gigs up when you complete the Fiverr courses, will those gigs get more traffic as opposed to if you have more gigs? Would Fiverr spread out the traffic? Okay, so unfortunately, the courses are no longer, to my knowledge, sending any traffic your way. So it doesn't really matter anymore. They've canceled that, I think, as they added more. For a period of time, they were really promoting those so that you got more traffic. And I took like 20 courses. But they no longer do that because they stayed it in there now. So I wouldn't worry about that anymore. Jim, we will always ignore those poser VO ads. Greg, when looking at the app and the messages, let's see, you see the customer icon. On the lower left, there's a green circle with a silhouette of a person and a circular arrow. What is that? When you're looking at the app. Okay, the green circle means whether you're online or not. Okay, that's what that means, whether you're online or not. And then you say the silhouette of a person, that's you. All right, if you're looking at yourself or someone else, whoever the person is you're looking at, and the green, if it's lit up green, they're online. If it's like grayed out, they're not online. Does that make sense? Okay. Sherry, I've been watching videos for 2021 and with tips. A subscription won't work for one-offs for starters. One-offs for starters. I see the need for both. I've been watching videos for 2021 with tips. A subscription won't work for one-offs for starters. I see the need for both. Okay. I'm not quite sure I understand, but okay. Character voices. Thanks, man. Very excited. Awesome. Dale, what's up? All things being equal, I'm sure there are pro VO artists on Fiverr. With all things being... Yeah. I don't know what you mean by I'm sure there are pro VO artists on Fiverr. Do you mean like the pro sellers? I mean, they have pro sellers versus the people who are just doing the regular tiered system? Or do you mean pro as in like there's some people are professional on Fiverr and some people are not? I'm not sure what you mean, Dale, with that one. Because just remember, if we want to be honest about professionalism, right? I think if you think about it, we're all striving to be professional, right? And some of us are further along in our journey than others. And I work with so many incredible voice actors who are some of the most professional people I've ever worked with on Fiverr. And through my whole entire career as an actor, a teacher, a business owner. So there are some incredible people on Fiverr. Absolutely. Let's see. New life, new smile. Is it possible for someone to start voiceover just on an Android phone? Anything's possible, but I would say that, you have to consider what it is you're trying to voice. And this is a really good thing. Like, for example, I've had voiceover jobs where people have wanted me to actually do my voiceover on my phone to get that phone sound. But generally speaking, the whole idea now is that we're setting up the best to our ability, a studio within our home or something that's treated. And we're moving towards equipment that is going to help us sound better, clearer, amplify our voice better for our particular needs. I mean, the idea is the more you like on a microphone, I mean, the cool thing is I always wonder, why do you spend more money on a microphone? Well, the more money you start to spend on microphones, you find that, they give more options. And I don't mean options like buttons. I mean, they're the tailored nature, the dynamic range, right? The very build of them just increases, and it's incredible the difference in sound. So I can be honest with you, you wouldn't get a lot of jobs, I think, using an Android phone. Now, in the future, will voiceover be will technology be so good you could hook up a microphone to your phone? I know that some people do that, but I would say that's probably not the best thing for you to do for voiceover businesses to use your phone. Okay. Let's see. Dale, I completely agree with the product concept. That's how I view my output, and promotion is key to getting that product noticed. Absolutely. Character voices, sometimes almost immediately on the rotation. Sweet. Scott says those are animated. Timothy, you're seeing cartoon descriptions rather than the cartoons on those super chats. Oh, you're joking. So those were actually cartoons, but they're showing me the description. See, now you know. I really am sometimes out there. That's too funny. And I read them. And I read them like that. Oh my goodness. Well, you get your money's worth, I tell you what. Those are animated. I see. Those are animated money tips. That's hilarious that the gifts are not showing up on his side, so it's just the description. Yeah, like when I read the description, I'm like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? I know those guys. I'm like, what are you guys saying to me? Audie says, hey, Anthony, how are you doing, dude? Doing well, thank you. Let's see. Character voices. When you are given the opportunity to have a portfolio, can you load your own work as well as your recent Fiverr jobs as samples? You can load your own work, and you can load, but you can't load MP3s. So there has to be MP4s. Whereas your portfolio, so there's two types of portfolios that Fiverr offers. The portfolio that you could check on each gig, right, is MP3 files from recent files that you've delivered that have gotten good reviews or something. But then when you reach top rated seller, there's also a video portfolio that they allow you to have up to 30 videos. Like I have, if you go to my gig, you can see 30 videos on there. Okay. So that's something that, is there as well. Let's see. Jim says it's a new thing called super stickers. Super chat's little brother, I guess. I didn't type what you that's just it could be because I'm using a service called Restream, and basically it's Restream chat. So maybe the chat doesn't bring over the animated GIF. So that's funny. Character Voices says, I use major companies' products to make sample demos all the time. It's no problem. Yep. Greg Gigney, the 1925 Universal Studios film of Phantom of the Opera was not renewed in 1953, replacing it in the public domain. It can be downloaded free at the Internet Archive. So, yeah, I was talking about the Andrew Lloyd Webber's version, not the original Phantom of the Opera. I'm sure you're right with the original Phantom of the Opera, but I was talking about the musical version from Andrew Lloyd Webber that debuted in '81 in London. Character voices just use their products respectfully. I think it's the best thing you can do, absolutely. Greg, as a point of interest, if you wanted to know. I'll post my green circle question in the group. It's a different circle. Okay. Oh, wow. No more traffic from courses. I missed that memo. I purchased over $500 worth of courses and was about to complete all of them at once to get a giant boost. Oh, well, I'm sure the courses are actually good, though. I learned a lot from all those courses, and they have a bunch of new ones on there, but yeah, I don't think you're going to get the traffic. Sorry. Sherry says, my comment was when you were talking about the need for subscriptions and that there will still be a need for individuals to get started only needing to buy. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, Sherry. Gotcha. VoiceOver Angela says, Greg, and I believe that means repeat client. I think that's what you were asking. Okay. Dale says, I meant the folks who complain about Fiverr. No, I totally understand. Thank you, Pika, for everything you do for us. Thank you, Gidney. Greg says that Angela, yes, thank you. I had suspicions, thank you. VoiceOver, there's a lot of thank you going on. Hey, Fleischman Media, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks for the information. You should have posted one of the little gifts so I could read it again. We could have it as an ongoing joke every time someone posts something and be like, he raises his hand in triumph and dances around and does what is it? The I don't even know the dance names. Okay, you're old when you don't even know names of dances. Or if you say a name, it's really old. That's where you don't want to date yourself, right? But thank you so much, Fleischman Media, for that super chat. Thank you. Clint says, been a long time since I made it to a live Fiverr Friday. Howdy, y'all. Hey, Clint. Dave says, can you please review your thoughts on changes to your gig and how long to wait after making changes to assess? Can you please review your thoughts on changes to your gig and how long you wait making changes to assess? So remember the three things we talk about when it comes to your gig. Okay. First thing is you got to be found. You got to be found in the algorithm. And when you are first starting out, see, now this is the rub. When you're first starting out, you're first getting going with something. All right. It's highly, highly dependent upon your title, your tags, also your description. Okay. And do those match up? The second part is once you are found, are you enticing people enough to click on you? Meaning your thumbnail, your pricing. Are those enticing people to click on you? Okay. And then the third part is once they click on you, are you inspiring people enough to purchase from you? from your demo, from your the actual words that you wrote down in your copy, not the keywords. Okay, your extras. Do you come across professionally? Does your copy come off professional? Okay, those are the three things that I always keep front of my mind whenever I do anything. However, as you move along the scale of Fiverr down the road, you'll notice that people have been there a long time who have done a lot of work on their stuff and they're still struggling because they can't get work. So then we run into a different problem, and that is an average selling price. Okay. And it is, Fiverr wants to promote people or move them up in the rankings that are going to get jobs. And I know it's the chicken and the egg. All right. I got to get seen so I can get work. Right. We know that. But if you have been on Fiverr for a long time and you're not getting the work, and then you are having a problem now with traffic and you can't seem to get your traffic up, that's a challenge because Fiverr's not promoting you because of the idea that you're not getting work. So there's no reason for them to, because, they are about making money. So they want to make money. So in that particular case, you need to start asking yourself, do I need to start doing some work to drive traffic myself to my Fiverr gig in order for me to get more work, in which case Fiverr will then respond and move up my gig. I mean, anybody that's messaged Fiverr and said, hey, I'm not getting work, can you help me? They send you back this email with 4 or 5 different things that you can do. And one of them on there, of course, is, social media, drive traffic, to, go and post something on YouTube where people go to your Fiverr gig, right? If you can't get the traffic from Fiverr, you got to drive your own traffic. But then the argument comes, well, why would I drive traffic to Fiverr, when I could drive it to my website? And here's the other side of that argument is, if someone goes to your website, and it's just a question for you, honest question. If someone goes to your website or they go to Fiverr's website, which one are they going to think is more professional? It's not a rub on any of us. But the reality is, I don't have the money to compete with the professional nature of Fiverr. And the only thing I have to build my brand is what you're seeing me do now, and it's helping people, getting my face out there. That's why I put my face everywhere. That's why I put my name in big, bold letters everywhere. I want people to be able to know me so that when the time comes that I really start pushing more and more people to my website, they're not going to be like, who's this guy? And they're still going to be like that. Right? So you got to remember, but if they go to a site that is recognized, and let's be honest, at this point, Fiverr is no longer a small company, right? We've all seen that. There's their first year, they're going to have their first Super Bowl ad. I've never seen voices.com on the Super Bowl. All right? I don't think I've seen any voiceover service. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know if Upwork has been on, and I don't know. Maybe somebody could say if they've seen Upwork on the Super Bowl ad. I don't know, but Fiverr is going to be in the Super Bowl. To me, that's a big deal because I've never seen any other voiceover service or part of it, that's been on a Super Bowl ad. We are directly a part of that. So, that's kind of my 2 cents on that. Character Boy says, thank you, Anthony. Let's see. Ada, hey Anthony, what's your take on the ordered on Fiverr thing in your live portfolio? Can I switch it off and still get good traffic? I don't like not being able to select what samples show up. Here's a little tip. I wouldn't turn it off because we've had people doing that recently and they've been hit hard with the algorithm, like they've been, losing traction. But this is what I recommend. If you are worried about that happening and you don't want that to happen, send zip files. If you send a zip file, it won't show up no matter what. They can't put a zip file up. So I've had many people, like, for example, you might do a job where someone hires you through the wrong gig and you don't want, some crazy character voice on your serious gig. Okay. And the best thing to do is deliver it zipped so that they can't show up through zipped. Okay. All right. But I wouldn't get rid of it. Let's see. Grant. Oh. I got you, Grant. I see what you're doing there. I'm not going to fall for it now, Grant. I know better. All right. Let's see. Maria. Happy Fiverr Friday, everyone. Glad I could catch this live. Appreciate the info. Thank you, Maria. Dale, little off topic, but who do you use for music and special effects? Story blocks. I have a couple different things, Dale. Story blocks is one of them. I also use Envato Elements. And occasionally I will go onto YouTube and use the YouTube Studio or the YouTube free music studio. And it's all a bunch of free music and effects on YouTube as well. They have a whole free section, so you can download them there as well. Yeah. You have to have a channel. You have to set up your own channel, which is free. But once you set up on your own channel and you go into your studio, okay, on the left-hand side, they have all those different options. All the way down at the bottom, it's called like music, YouTube Music or something. It's free or free music. You can get a whole bunch off of there. So that's actually a completely free way of getting music without paying anything. Is there going to be a massively as large as Envato or something? No, but there's a lot. There's a lot of music. Let's see, Dale. Out of bounds. What's up? You have a good weekend too. Walter says, "Have a great weekend, everyone." You too, Walter. Hey, Anthony. I'm just starting out. I literally just put soundproof up in my closet. Awesome. Congrats. Best of luck to you here. If I don't have a demo yet, should I try and come up with my own gigs and use those for now? So, Audie, I think when I first started, I was big about I didn't want to deliver. I didn't want to put out demos that I couldn't do I couldn't deliver a similar sound, right? But when you first start out, you know what I mean, you don't even know a lot about that. So you can do a couple of different ways. One, you can begin by literally recording with no sound. All right. Some people do that. I did that for like a year and a half. I had no sound on my demos. Okay. And you can do that. Put 4 to 6 different reads together for a commercial demo. Get some books from your house. Do 2 or 3 reads. 15 to 20 second reads from a book for a audiobook demo or whatever. You can put that up without music, or you can begin to learn. I mean, I even have a video on my channel here that shows you how to do voice or how to make your own demo. And I'm actually making a course, an updated course that's going to be, hopefully within the next week or so, on how to make your own demo on VOsJourney.com. It'll be a course available for you guys to use that, because I know for me, that was one of the most empowering things I learned and worked on in my business, was how to build my own course. How to build my own demo. So absolutely. So my suggestion is you need something though, Audie. You got to have something to put up there. You can't put nothing. So, start off with no music, but make sure it's quality, or start off working with a coach. I'd love to help you. If you're interested, we could book a session, or start off with getting a demo from someone who's going to help you understand and put it together, as opposed to them just charging you a bunch of money. And, because you want to be able to reproduce at least the sound of your voice, not the music, but the sound. Makes sense? All right. Let's see. Timmy says, what? Fleischman Media. Just a thought, Anthony. You may want to brand a logo, not your face. How many businesses brand their owners? Maybe Papa John's. No, absolutely. And that is true. And if you notice, that's why I started a VO's Journey. The name of VO's Journey, and not just my face. And I do actually have a logo, but and it's you can find it. It's actually right here. You're looking at it. A VO's Journey by Anthony Pica. You can see right there. It's got the microphone and a VO's Journey. It is, so you're absolutely right. But I think this day and age, though, has changed that, in my opinion. In this day and age, I think, branding a face, because we are in so much in social media, right? That for me, it was the easiest thing at the time, I think, to be recognizable, especially when people are going from different platforms. That's another thing. If you go from platform to platform, what's your name on all the platforms? Do you have a whole bunch of different names? Are they all the same name? You want to make it easy for people to find you, remember you. But I totally agree that there's a lot to be said about branding something different. I just know that in our industry, for better or for worse, it seems like people really do respond better to a real life headshot of you, because they want to know who they're working with. But I do agree about branding. Tim says, what's up with the Fiverr ad with the weird, obvious edit and the bad grammar? Anyone else notice that? Which one is that? Is that the one where they're making It's kind of like tongue in cheek. Well, they're all tongue in cheek. I don't know which ad you're talking about, Tim. The right guy. Love this guy. I've written some of my own scripts. Awesome. Character voices. Let's see. Epidemic sound is. Epidemic. I don't know that. Is awesome for samples. You can download the whole sample or just stems the sample. Really cool. I get a ton of samples for free. Awesome. Clint says, is it good to have custom request on, or should I turn it off? I've noticed a pattern with top buyers using it to make low ball requests. I have custom offer on. I give, because in my opinion, you want to make people give, or you want to meet people wherever they are. Okay, that's just my opinion. Second opinion is, remember, the cool thing about it is just because they make a low ball request doesn't mean you have to accept it. So, that's the cool thing about it. I had to honestly, as I progressed in my business and I raised my rates along the way, unfortunately, I had to say goodbye to some people who did not want to pay more because they couldn't afford it, and that's fine. I totally understand. Wasn't in their budget. But some of them got rather mean, in which case I block them. So that leads me to my next point. If you have people who are trying to take advantage of you and you're just tired of it and you don't want to deal with it anymore, block them. Just block them and you don't have to deal with it anymore. I am very happy that Fiverr allows you to do that. Dave G, wait, use or don't use portfolio. No, use your portfolio. I'm saying don't turn it off, Dave. You want to use it. Just you can submit zip files of the files you don't want to show up on it, is what I'm trying to say. Because there might be something too that you do that you don't want other people listening to. Like I said, perfect example, a character voice, crazy character voice for a serious gig, right? But don't turn it off. I've had people turn it off recently. I've had really bad results. Let's see. The right VO says, I did that because I had to get used to being on mic. Hearing your own voice for the first time, then playing with it's risky. Yeah. Audie, thank you so much. I appreciate it very much. Absolutely. Dale, are you Colonel Sanders of VO? Colonel Sanders of VO? I mean, I like chicken. I don't know what you mean by that, Dale. Dale, we're going to have problems, aren't we, Dale? You're going to be the problem guy. I bet you're the problem guy, Dale. That's okay. You're always welcome, Dale. Clint D, thanks, AP. My comment is going to seem out of place now. Yeah, I'm not sure. No, I got what you're saying. Hey, listen, everybody. I want to thank you so much for being here, spending this time with me today. I'm super excited to move forward. And like I said, I'm going to be making an announcement later on my podcast that'll go out later tonight about some just cool directions moving forward. Hey, thank you again so much for another super chat. Man, I really appreciate that, Flashman Media. Oh, you wanted to hear it, didn't you? All right, here we go. It's the right pair character lifting some weights, saying, "Keep it up." There you go. Well, that makes you happy. That's what I get. But I love it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Dale says, Colonel Sanders is on every bucket of chicken sold. You know who he is. Oh, that's true. That's true, Dale. That's true. That's true. What an incredible stories Colonel Sanders has anyways, about when he started his career in his 60s later in his life. Let's see. Ada, thanks for the zip file info. But what do I do about the inappropriate sample? Do they stay up forever or do the old ones disappear? Oh, so if that's the case, you could try one of two things. But I think that this is all you're limited to. One, you could contact Fiverr and let them know. Let them know, hey, I was wondering if you could help me out with this. All right. And then just ask them what they're saying. The second thing is you can turn it off and risk your gig tanking. Or the third thing is the only other way to do it would be to get rid of the gig. But I wouldn't do that. So, I don't know how inappropriate it is. You have to judge that. But you might want to stand back and act, because I don't know how inappropriate it is. But if it's not that inappropriate, just let it go. But I don't know how inappropriate it is. So, but I would contact Fiverr and ask them. Let's see. See if I can get him to say, follow me at the right VO. Oh, that's cool. I like that. Oh, you can. Follow me at a VO's journey. I got you. All right, you guys. Thank you so much. You guys get cheeky on this channel. I appreciate it. Thank you. You guys have a wonderful weekend. Oh, and hey, listen, remember, if you're interested in joining Fiverr Elite, we got our session tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, where we get together, help each other grow our Fiverr businesses, do reviews, do analytics, do voiceover coaching. It's a great time. There'll be a link below and over in VO's Journey website. All right, you guys, thank you so much. You have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I'll see you all later. Goodbye. Goodbye.